Namaste, welcome to Lighthouse Souls. In this video, starting from this video, I will be taking up my learnings from this book, The Miracle of Mindfulness by Thich Nhat Hanh. This book, right? Like a small book, but it is one of the classic books on mindfulness for any beginner or even a seasoned practitioner. So I'll be in a series of videos. I will be taking the my learnings from this book. I will be sharing my learnings from this book. So if we start this book, so this basically the book is basically it is a long letter that was written in Vietnamese by Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddhist monk, to his brother Quang, the staff member of the School of Youth for Social Service in South Vietnam. So this basically book was a letter which got converted into a book, and it has been translated into many languages, and it has helped millions of people, right? So basically, Thich Nhat Hanh wanted to remind brother Kwong, remind them of their essential discipline of following one's breath to nourish and maintain calm mindfulness even in the midst of the most difficult circumstances, right? Further it says, uh, Moby Ho, the person who translated this book, says, as I sat down to translate The Miracle of Mindfulness, I remembered the episodes during the past years that had nurtured my own practice of mindfulness. There was a time, he just shares an incident. There was a time I was cooking furiously and I could not find a spoon. I'd sat down amidst a scattered pile of pans and ingredients. As I searched here and there, Thai entered it. Thai is the font name of Thich Nhat Hanh, and Thai in Vietnamese means a teacher. So Thich Nhat Hanh, he entered the kitchen and smiled. He asked, "What is Moby looking for?" Of course, Moby answered, "The spoon. I'm looking for a spoon." Thai answered again with a smile, "No, Moby is looking for Moby." Right? It's so beautiful that when we are in the hectic search for things and we are lost in things, basically somewhere we are actually trying to find ourselves. We have lost ourselves. So they beautifully said that no, Moby is looking for Moby. Right? So whatever we do, the essential message is whatever we do, even if it means uh, uh, finding a spoon or finding a book or finding a key, we should not lose ourselves. We should be conscious of ourselves, and then we should do whatever activity we want to do, right? And Moby Ho, who is penning this introduction, says that when he was translating this book, my awareness of the feel of so he had been asked to write this book slowly and mindfully, not like just whatever not through mind, but with a conscious presence that he's writing this book. So he said that my awareness of the feel of pen and paper, awareness of the position of my body and my breath, enabled me to see most clearly the mindfulness with which Thai has written each word, right? So we come to chapter 1, which is the first chapter, Essential Discipline. Here, basically, Thais shares a story of Alan, uh, who came to visit him, and Alan and his son Joey came to visit. And Joey has grown so quickly. The son has grown so quickly, and he's just running around here and there. And Thai asked Alan that is a family life easier than being a bachelor, because after Joey happened to them and Alan got busy and he used to wake up at night because he had a young daughter also. So Thai asked, is family life easier than becoming a bachelor, right? So Alan said, I've discovered a way to have lot more time. In the past I used to look at my own time as if it were divided into several parts. One part I reserved for Joey, his son. Another part was for Sue. Another part was to help with Anna. Another part for household work. The time left over, I considered my own. I could read, write, do research, go for walks, right? But now see what he's trying to say. He's saying, but now I try not to divide time into parts anymore. And this has lot of lessons for all of us in work-life balance. What we do is we compartmentalize things. This is my work time, this is my this time, this is my family time, and the intention is and the expectation is to balance all the things. But he says, now I try not to divide time into parts. I consider my time with Joey and Sue as my own time. When I help Joey with his homework, I try to find ways of seeing his time as my own time. I go through his lessons with him, sharing his presence and finding ways to be interested in what we do during that time. The time for him becomes my own time. The same with Sue. The remarkable thing is that now I have unlimited time for myself. So, one is that you do things for others in the expectation that you will get your own time after doing things for everyone. That is the wrong approach. That is where, because we are getting lost, every time is my own time. If in doing everything, I am completely immersed in that, I completely think of it as my own time and I completely enjoy whatever I do, then I will have unlimited time. So I hope as a reader you will be, as a listener you will be getting the difference, right? So do everything as if it was your own time, your work, managing time with your family, everything, thinking that it's your own time. Be conscious in whatever you do. Be conscious in your interaction with your spouse. Be conscious in your interaction at your work end. Right? Okay. Now, beautifully, the section comes on washing the dishes to wash the dishes, right? So Thai shares example that when he was young, he was in the monastery, when he was in a novice at the Tu Heu Pagoda, which is the monastery. Washing the dishes was not a pleasant task. Now he says lot of things are there. You have running hot water. In those days, it was cold, freezing water. There was no soap. Sorry. Sorry. I've just recovered from COVID, so now I'm feeling better, but still those uh, residues are there. Okay, so so what he's saying is that one approach was that nowadays one stands in a kitchen equipped with liquid soap, special scrub pads, and running hot water, which makes it more agreeable. Now it is easier for anyone to wash the dishes. Now, what Thai says is that while washing the dishes, one should only be washing the dishes, which means that while washing the dishes, one should be completely aware of the fact that one is washing the dishes. At first glance, this might look a little silly. Why put so much stress on a single thing? But that's precisely the point. The fact that I'm standing here and washing these bowls is a wondrous reality. Now understand this. When we think, when basically what we are lost, we are always lost. Whenever we do, we are lost in the illusion. This, that, past, future, that is all an illusion. Thai says that the wondrous reality is right in front of us. The dishes that we are washing, that is the wondrous reality, the infinite reality that is open in front of us, and we are lost in past and future. So what we have to do is that when we wash the dishes, we wash with wondrous reality. I'm being completely myself, following my breath, conscious of my presence and conscious of my thoughts and actions. There is no way, because if you do that, there's no way I can be tossed around mindlessly like a bottle, slapped here and there on the waves, right? So otherwise, what happens? We are constantly in that. We are like thrashed by our mind, sending us into the past. Then there is this regret arising in us. Then we come back into the future, and then there is the anxiety of what will happen in the future. So now our task is not to let the mind thrash us like a bottle in the waves. We have to be completely present, witness, and be aware of all our thoughts and actions as they are arising in this very moment while I'm performing any action. So then Thai says there are Thai shares an example where Jim came to him for a visit. Jim asked Jim asked whether he can do the dishes. So Thai said, "Go ahead, but if you wash the dishes, you must know the way to wash them." Jim replied, "Come on, do you think I don't know how to wash the dishes?" So Thai says, there are two ways to wash the dishes. First is to wash the dishes in order to have clean dishes. Now understand the difference. First is to wash the dishes in order to have clean dishes, and the second is to wash the dishes in order to wash the dishes. I choose the second way. Jim was delighted and said, I choose the second way, to wash the dishes to wash the dishes. From then on, from then on, Jim knew how to wash the dishes. I transferred the responsibility to him for an entire week. Right? Now, Thai says that if we wash the dishes, if while washing the dishes, we think so, there are two things. One is to do any particular action in the expectation that it will end, this effort will end, and there will be a reward in the future for that. Other thing is just to be in this action right now, not thinking about the reward, just just doing this action for the sake of doing this action, right? It's like in Zen, what they say. In Zen, what is Zen? Zen means peeling the potatoes. When we peel the potatoes, we only peel the potatoes, right? So this is how our life should be. Now, Thai says, if while washing the dishes we think only the cup of tea that awaits us, thus hurrying to get the dishes out of the. So our mindset is what, that I have to just finish this and then let it go out and then I will get that cup of tea. We are not washing the dishes. We are not. We are just in our thoughts, right? What's more, we are not alive during the time we are washing. So our whole intention is to make every moment alive, bring consciousness into every moment of our work, not only during the 1 hour that we sit for meditation or half an hour that we sit for meditation, right? We are not alive. In fact, we are completely incapable of realizing the miracle of life while standing at the sink. So, Thai says life can be a miracle even when you are doing dishes in the sink. If we can't wash the dishes, the chances are beautiful. If we can't wash the dishes, the chances are we won't be able to drink our tea either. While drinking the cup of tea, we will be only thinking of other things, barely aware of the cup in our hands. Thus, we are sucked away into the future and we are incapable of actually living 1 minute of life. Right? I hope this is like a bulb-on moment for everyone. If you cannot wash the dishes mindfully, you will not be able to enjoy the time while drinking tea or enjoy the time maybe watching Netflix later on in the day. Right? So, how you live this moment will depend upon how you will enjoy the things that will come later in the future. Our mind, since it gets stuck in the future, it thinks that the present moment is not valuable, but the thing is that the present moment is what is there. That is the only reality. If we take care of the present moment, the future will be we will be able to take care of the future, because the future is another present moment. So our focus has to be only in that narrow zone of this present moment and not think about what the future will take care of itself. You and me have to take care of this present moment. Then there is this thing about eating a tangerine. So another example with Jim, what Thai is sharing is that when he was traveling with Jim, Jim was so immersed, whatever work he used to do, he was so immersed in that work that he literally forget about what he was doing in the present. So he took a tangerine, or it may be an orange. He took a tangerine and ate it. He took another tangerine and he ate it, right? Another slice, and before the first slice he was able to complete, the second slice was ready to be popped in. So Thai said, you ought to eat the tangerine section you have already taken. That means first you eat the tangerine, the section that you've already taken. First you eat it completely. Jim was startled into realizing what he was doing. It was as if he had been not been eating the tangerine at all. If he had been eating anything, he was eating his future plans. Right? He was not eating the tangerine. He was eating his future plans, and future is nowhere. Only thing that is there is the present, and we in eating the tangerine in your present, you are living the present, and that is what matters for your well-being. So Thai says, a tangerine has sections. If you can eat just one section, you can probably eat the entire tangerine. That means that one section of tangerine has the entire tangerine in it. So if you can just eat that one section, you can probably eat the entire tangerine. But if you cannot eat that one section mindfully, you will not be able to eat the tangerine. No matter if you eat one tangerine or five tangerines, right? But if you can't eat a single section, you cannot eat the tangerine. Jim understood. He slowly put his hand down, focused on the presence of the slice already in his mouth. He chewed it thoughtfully, taking all the tastes, senses before reaching down and then taking another section. Later, Thai said, later when Jim went to prison for activities against the war, Thai was worried whether he will be able to endure the prison walls and sent him very short letter. And in that short letter, Thai said, do you remember the tangerine we shared when we were together? Your being there is like the tangerine. Eat it and be one with it. Tomorrow it will not be anymore. Right? So, whatever life you may have a good experience at this time in life or bad experience, live it mindfully, because that experience will not be there. There may be some better experiences or there may be some worse experiences, but this experience, what you're having right now, will not be there. So, as Eckhart says, that how do you know that you are getting the experience for the evolution of your consciousness? Because you are having this experience right now. No, so nothing is by accident. We have chosen everything that we want to undergo. So in this moment, if we live mindfully, we will be able to understand the lessons, because only we will be able to understand the lessons if we are able to live in this moment and experience. Otherwise we are in a illusion of present and future. Then there is this section on essential discipline where Thai explains that uh, when he joined the monastery, Buddhist monastery Baosan Pagoda, they gave all the novice monks a 40-page book that contains all the various techniques to awaken the mind while doing any task. So there is a like a When he woke up in the morning, his first thought was, just awakened, I hope that every person will attain great awareness and see in complete clarity. When he washed his hands, he used this thought to place himself in mindfulness. Washing my hands, I hope that every person will have pure hands to receive reality. Now, these are actually called gathas. These are actually called practice poems. Now, if you can see in the Plum Village community of Thai, uh, Thai is no more. Last week only he has passed away. And this review is basically a dedication, my dedication to him, and there will be a lot of other books and lot of other knowledge that he has shared with all of us. I will be sharing that. So in the Plum Village tradition, they have this gathas or practice poems for everything. You can also go and download it from the Plum Village website. For like waking up, there is a gatha. For like washing the hand, there is a gatha. For eating, there is a gatha. What that gatha does is that it helps us bring into that moment, makes the mind alive in the very moment that we are doing something, right? Now there is just a reference to the sutra on mindfulness, the Anapansati Sutra, right? When walking, the Anapansati Sutra is says when you're walking, practitioner must be conscious that he's walking. When sitting, the practitioner must be conscious that he's sitting. When lying down, the practitioner must be conscious that he's lying down. No matter what position one's body is in, the practitioner must be conscious of that position. Practicing thus, the practitioner lives in direct and constant mindfulness of the body. The mindfulness of positions of one's body is not enough. We must be conscious of each breath, each movement, every thought and feeling, everything which has in relation to ourselves. And then Thai leaves with a question that if the what is the purpose of this sutra's instruction? Anapansati Sutra, which is Buddha's one of the most important sutras. So Thai's question to the modern day reality is who has the time to practice everything? If you spend all the day practicing mindfulness, how you do other things? How does Alan manage to work, study Joey's lessons, take Anna's diapers, and practice mindfulness? So this Thai is just living with that question. So we'll come to the answer to this question uh, in the further chapters. So this is thanks for now. This is the chapter one we have completed. I'll come to further chapters. Finally, If you want to buy this book, this is a beautiful book, go ahead and buy. I'll put a link for this book in the description. Another thing is that I have created a Facebook group, a Lighthouse Souls Facebook group. So if you want to learn more about mindfulness, and if you want to be with me in this journey, because I am myself learning to be more and more mindful. If you want to be in this journey, this is a free Facebook group. So join that group. I'll be sharing lots of tips and my learnings that I receive. So do join. The link for that is also there in the description. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.